African soil. That's when I get in touch with African style. The African sun show me African smile. African talent that are well versatile. See the African very calling artist. African the wisest, African the smartest. The mentor, the voice, and the juice are the artist. Zimbabwe, we are the breakfast. Listen up. I'm slanging at the nation. Back again with the remix selection. From London to Zimbabwe, all the Africans know we start the party. And if you know it, put one hand in the air. Scream and shout like you just don't care. African people, if you're strong and proud, repeat after me and say, Africans louder, Africans louder, Africans Zimbabwe,
I am an African child. Zimbabwe is where I be from. They be checking my sound, my swag, my flow. Can't push me cause I know I'm sweet. Got diamonds and gold in Africa. Rhythm and blues in Africa. Beautiful women in Africa.
President from Zimbabwe. All of my trade in the city of Ferrari. But I was born in Mazingo. And that's why me talk in the lingo. Imbai, Kanaga Nyimbu. Mribam with Jete. Na PK, Kaz and JJC. With one big family. Because we are Africans louder. Africans louder. Africans Zimbabwe. Yeah, we are Africans. Africans louder. Africans. Come on, Africans. Me a roll out the ghetto, me a youth from Africa. King Selassie rule from out of Africa. The best body guy come from Africa. All the diamonds and gold from Africa. 27 years him spent in a prison just to liberate people in Africa. Nelson Mandela. From Nigeria to Zimbabwe, UK back to Africa.
We never culture rare as denial. Everybody on the African style. Our music make you go wild. I know you can.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I guess we need to turn on the chat box as well. I think we are actually on and live. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome again to another live episode, an exciting episode of Tough Love Giggles on your go-to online radio station, After5Radio. That's actually dedicated to celebrating Africans in the diaspora. I am your host, aka the hype lady, Miss ThandoAmy, coming to you live all the way from Canada. And today, today's guest is actually a visionary. As usual, we always hang out with visionaries here, and it's such a blessing that we are actually hanging out with this amazing human being. But before we get to say hello to him, I'll just give you a brief introduction, or maybe, hopefully, I get the bio right. But Nicholas, I got you. So he is actually a visionary tech entrepreneur and African Proptech Pioneer. And we love pioneers. We love pioneers. We don't like followers. I'm sorry, we can't do that. But Nicholas Ogaye, he's the founder, CEO, and CTO of Nyumba Zetu, a leading Kenyan property technology platform changing how landlords, tenants, and property managers connect. Also, we love this. A Harvard grad with a rich background in fintech and software development. So we're going to learn a whole lot today. And I was telling, I know some people are like, oh, I want to get into real estate and what have you. And when we got this, interview, I passed on to the people who kept saying, I want to be in real estate. Now I want to be serious. Now, and I hope they're watching. I hope they tuned in, and I hope they have all the questions in the world. But thank you so much, Nicholas. And I hope I got it right to some extent. Or if you want to add more, feel free. Good morning or good evening.
Wow. That was an amazing introduction. Sometimes talking to people like you just make me understand why I'm not in radio or why I'm not in the media, because I can't do that. I can't.
Oh, no, are you serious?
That was a beautiful introduction. Yeah, thank you so
much.
much.
Bless you. I know that's actually, what's funny, when I hear some people, yesterday I was talking to one of my girlfriends, she's the president of like at their school and what have you, and she's like, yo, I felt so honored for me to I think she's supposed to award such a huge person out in the spaces out there. And she's like, but I'm not as confident as you are. I don't know how I can present. And I was like, don't tell yourself you can't, because you're limiting yourself. That's what I always tell myself. I didn't think I would be able to do radio. You just spoke to a producer, Andy. Andy will tell you they had to approach me twice. I was like, yo, I don't even know what you're talking about. But with the training and the confidence and the love, because I've been in the TV space, and then now the radio was a totally different beast. So I was like, and people would actually say, but I think radio would be easier. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's not easy.
It wasn't.
Oh wow. Okay.
When I started, it wasn't. But no, we love what we do. We love showcasing pioneers like you. We love getting to learn more. And now we just widened our horizon. We used to just be Zimbabweans in the diaspora, but we're like, no, we got actually so many requests from other people in other African countries. And it was just so, I felt so bad every time saying, no, we only focus on Zimbabweans, we only focus until we opened up to Africans. Like, yes, thank you, Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
And then now we get to hang out with the likes of you. Thank you so much for coming through.
You're welcome. And do I get it right? Is it Thando, right?
It's a silent H.
Silent H. It's Thando.
Yes. But you got it. Trust me, a lot of people always, even like on LinkedIn, I had to put the pronunciation. Like, I had to put no dash TA, a huge TA dash NDO.
As Africans, we are not used to silent letters in anything, right? We always want to pronounce.
The way it is, what you see is what you pronounce.
What you see is what you pronounce. So
absolutely. But thank you so much, Nicholas.
Yeah, and I love what you've said there about even radio presenting and everything in general, right? There's that quote, whether you think you can or you can't, either way you are right. So,
but that's it. Either way you're right. If you tell yourself you can't, well, guess what? Yeah, for sure. But if you tell yourself you can, but then I find it's all about jumping. It's all about just trying it until you say, oh, okay, this is not for me, than to say this is not for me without trying. So yeah, I'm a firm believer of that. But anyway, just to dive into our today's conversation, let's just start off with, could you actually tell us about your origin, about the origins of your company, like the establishment of it, what inspired your creation? And running a company is not easy, to be frank, to start off, right? It's not easy. So what inspired it? And then talk about tech. We live in a digital world where everything is just real quick.
Yeah.
before we know it, because we just changed our system for a couple of months and we had to come back to this. I think it didn't. I think if anything, we just changed our system. We're in August for about 4 months, and when we came back to this one is better. When we came back to this, everything had changed. So tech is a fast-paced type of, field industry. But what inspired you to start your own company and then keep up with the trends going on with technology?
Yeah, Thando, you're right. I mean, tech is really fast-paced. Actually, too much fast-paced, if you ask me, right? Particularly, of course, with the evolution of the internet and now AI and everything else, tech is on fire right now. And I think it's just important for everybody to go digital if you haven't already, right? And even beyond digital right now, I feel absolutely everybody needs to be using AI, right? Because if the internet and technology in general made your productivity 2x or 3x, I feel like AI and other invention in technology will probably increase your productivity in orders of magnitude, 10x and above, right? So technology is moving very fast. And yeah, it's important for everybody to be in that space. So that's one of the things that I noticed, and that's one of the reasons why I started Nyumba Zetu, is when I traveled back home after some time. So I worked and I've lived in New York for the last 13 years in technology. So I noticed that there was a gap, right? I went back to Kenya, invested in some property, and just within the daily interactions with the people that I was working with, I noticed that there was a lot of things that were still sort of digitized, but not fully digitized. Like in terms of course, people are still using paper, and some people are using like Excel, but some tools that are not really tailored towards the specific jobs that they're supposed to do, particularly around real estate, right?
Okay.
That with addition to the overall story that people are always getting scammed when they're buying land in Africa, right?
Yes.
That story, someone getting scammed, right? Paperwork taking months and things like those. So I thought that the real estate in Africa should not be as stressful. It shouldn't be stressful, particularly given that we have a lot of people in diaspora who want to invest back home, either for financial reason or others is just to feel grounded. Yeah, so what we decided to do was create a platform that would make it very easy for people in diaspora to be able to invest back home very comfortably and in a very transparent way.
Right. And you know what? This is another thing that a lot of people I find, like you're saying, people are afraid to invest back home, especially land and what have you. But why, in as much as there was a gap, some people say, oh, but then I'm not cut up for Africa. Where will I start? And I wouldn't know how you, like as in Kenya, would be relating to politics being involved in a sense, right? So because it's one of those where people are like, oh yeah, I don't want to be affiliated with politics. I just want to, bring maybe jobs. Think about the lack of jobs, and you starting your own company kind of brings work to people. What actually gave you you know what, I'm just going to take that jump? Because like you said, when earlier on when we started, when people say, I can't, you're right to say I can't. But if you also take that jump and look at you opened your own company, but without, the whole political situations and what have you, how then did you kind of work around all of that?
That's a really good point. I absolutely agree with anybody who will say that, and this is general, I feel politics should always stay out of the way for entrepreneurship.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
I feel the role of government in general is to create a platform for people to thrive, right? Create roads, create security, and then beyond that, just let the entrepreneurs, just let your people do what they need to do, because politics is very transient. In that's one, and then the second is the politicians. Even though in a lot of African countries and all over the world in general, actually not just in Africa, politicians are not the subject matter experts, right? The subject matter experts are the quiet people who are actually toiling every day.
Yeah.
And people who are on the ground understanding what's going on. So anybody who is a little bit maybe scared to invest in Africa because of political reasons, I would understand why. But at the same time, my advice will be, it's home, you know?
Yeah.
So it's either you do something about it or you don't, in which case then you don't need to complain. Let the people who need to do something support the people who need to do something about it. Yes, because Africa is home, and we have our brothers, our sisters, our relatives back there, our grandparents, so we need to do something about it. So that is what made me really excited. And to be honest with you, I'm so excited to do something in Africa more than I would be excited to do it anywhere else in the world, right? If
Absolutely.
I was to succeed, I feel Africa would be that place that I would want to succeed, because I feel it. I feel it more. When you change one life, you change, you know, I feel it more because I grew up there and I have lineage back there.
Right. Oh my gosh, that is so inspiring. Especially for people who've actually lived out here in the diaspora for a very long time. And you're like, whoa, how do I? And also they say the future is Africa. If anything, look at how the Western is literally going back, you know, where they're like, this is where all the resources, the minerals, and think about how Europe was way ahead when they came to colonize Africa, right? And then now, you know, we won't dive deeper into history and politics, but you know, it's one of those where we're like, okay, so if we want to invest back, how do we do it? The younger generation. And the good thing is the younger generation wants to come back and do that, right? Compared to our parents who paved the way for the younger generation to come and get their education and then finally decide to go back. But no, that is actually a really good job. And we will applaud you for it, for the guts to eventually say, this is the way and this is how I'm going to go. But how was your mission then? How has your mission evolved as the company has grown over the years? How old is it since you established it? Because you said you were here for about 13 years, you said, like in New York. Yeah.
Correct. So Nyumba Zetu is about 2.5 years old.
Okay.
Right. And when I started it, I actually didn't start it as a company, right? So it's something that grew organically. So as I mentioned before, I bought some properties in Nairobi, and I noticed that there were some issues, not only with the buying process, right? The delays, sending money, taking a couple of days or for it to get settled. That's one. But then mostly also in the property management aspect of it, right? So I don't know how you pay rent, but in a lot of places in Africa and in Kenya, people still pay rent to the property managers, right? They still send paper invoices and so forth. And even when people pay directly into their bank accounts, there's an auto reconciliation process, right? So you can talk about in the US, you have things like Stripe, and I'm sure in Canada as well. But in Africa, we had to build that ecosystem from scratch. So what we did was I tried to solve an issue in the property where I was living, and one of it was around property management, where every time I would pay rent, the property manager would come to me and ask me, hey, did you pay? I paid. And then he's like, okay, can you send me a screenshot of the payment confirmation that you have paid? I'm like, why do you need the screenshot and the money is in your bank account? So he did that the first time. I was like, okay, maybe it's an error. The second time, the third time, I'm like, why are you asking me for screenshots? Right? The money is in your bank account. You should be able to have a process to figure this out. But then it turned out that it wasn't him, not only him, but a lot of other property managers still, when you pay to the bank, they have to go through that
process
and figure out who has paid for what. And I was like, wow, this is very archaic way of doing things. So what I decided to build a system for that property manager. And I told him, like, because my background is in software engineering, I've worked in banking as well, so I understand some of those fundamentals. So I built a small system that could automatically, when people pay into the bank account, it could automatically reconcile those payments, right? It could go to the payment message, figure out which house this person has paid for, and automatically synchronize, right? Match the payment with the house number.
Yeah. Okay.
And for me, it was something that I did within like 3 weeks. It was a small project, basically. And then I was like, right, okay, here it is. Try to use this and see if it's going to solve your problem.
Yeah.
And he liked it. He liked it. The community that we were living, the people really, really liked that solution. And so I left. I came back to the US. I wasn't building a business. I was just trying to solve a problem at my community.
Yeah.
And it turned out people started asking, Nick, that solution that you built in that place that so-and-so is using, can I also use it in my property? Because they really like the fact that the system could automatically send out invoices to everybody automatically without any intervention.
Yeah.
And then when people pay, it automatically does the reconciliation and generates the report. So they like that aspect of it. And then, so when they asked me if I could use it, they use it another property. I was like, nope. I built it for me, right?
Yeah.
I built it to solve that problem. It wasn't a business.
Yeah.
And then I got 5, 6, 7 calls. I was like, maybe there's a business opportunity here, right? So that's
people love solutions. This is why. Okay, this is why we have our gifts, our talents, and everything. You know, the one thing that I've been learning in this journey. You know, when you grow up and say, "Oh, I want to be a tech guru," and what have you,
right?
It's passion. It's you that wants. You know, until yes, your wanting comes to solve solutions. The purpose is to solve solutions anyway. No matter how passionate you are about something, it's like, oh, this gift is not for you. Like it's to solve people's problems or to encourage somebody. If it's, you know, your gift is encouragement or what have you. So this is something that I've recently learned. I've also recently learned. I'm like, no, it's not about me that I'm passionate about stuff that I do. But until when you hear people say, oh, Amanda, but we love the fact that you're actually bringing people that we didn't even know and what have you. I was like, no, because I just love radio, right? I'm passionate about it. And they're like, no, it's because now you've actually linked us up with A, B, C, D. I was like, oh, I guess solution. And this is it, right? Where you're like, I'm just doing the system for me. Just, you know, I just did it for me. But no, we get these gifts for us to give back. So didn't you, if anything, talking about the speed of technology out in the Western world compared to Africa, how then did you get to speed up processes in that way? Think about how, you know, Elon Musk is actually kind of trying to, you know, invest in Africa and put all these satellites for what have you, right? Putting the satellites in Africa and have you just for Africa to catch up as well, you know? So how did you then get that bit of, okay, convenience, speed, time, what have you, and this is Africa compared to here? And I know because it's a background work, we wouldn't understand.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. So I think the first thing is the passion, just the same way you've said it, right? When you love what you're doing and you want to solve a problem, the same way you love radio, I love solving problems and love solving problems in textures. Then it doesn't feel like work anymore. It doesn't, right? Because even if Nyumba Zetu wasn't to turn into a business, I still feel I'll be building something. I'll still be creating some certain solutions. So I enjoy and I love what I do. And that's just the fact that people are using it and it's solving real world problems. That is a bonus, right?
Right.
So that is one. And then in terms of technological advancements, where we are heading to right now, we have reached a point where almost the cost of knowledge is almost zero, to be honest. Right? With the advent of the internet accelerated that, but now with AI,
true.
Everybody has a professor. Everybody, like you have at your fingertips anything that anybody else in the world would want, right? So
absolutely.
What I've learned, and particularly even because my team is based in Kenya, the whole of my team is based in Kenya actually. And so we have hired local developers, I've local salespeople. We have grown into South Africa, we've grown to Zambia and Ethiopia as well. And all those places, we have like local talent. What I've come to realize is like, there's almost nothing that I know that they don't know, right? So in terms of even the gap, me being in the US and them being in Nairobi, sometimes I'm just so surprised as to how much information they have. So in a sense, what I'm trying to get into is that divide is almost not there anymore. The only difference is experiences, right? In terms of like the US have more experience. Maybe I've seen certain things that they have not seen, but in terms of information knowledge, we are at par. So it's just an issue of guidance. And I would say, I'll ask everybody who's in diaspora, like if you want to create any solutions in Africa, just try reach out to the local talent. There's a lot of people, there's immense talent back there. And people know more than you think they know.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so you know what? And you're so right, because I think, thank God for like YouTube. That's like free university. If
platforms like this
loves research, you can easily educate yourself if you're somebody who likes initiating stuff. So you know, we just hope as the growth goes, you know, for your organization, it becomes international rather than just, you know, Africa. I know we love the fact that we say it was founded in Africa. We love that. Like, we love it. You actually thought Africans could not found something that can go worldwide? Yes. And I foresee, you know, Nyumba Zetu actually going way worldwide, because, of course, Africa, we find the Western, like I said earlier on, the Western are actually investing in our continent. And if anything, once they know, oh, there's Nicholas, we would rather, you know, invest in Nicholas's business that, you know, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying right there. People are going to say, don't say that in public, but no, legit.
You're right. And we're getting there. Just to the same point, it used to be that if there's any innovations or anything happens in the Western world, it will take months or even years before we know of this, right? But now it's instant. So we have the same information that anybody else has, right? So it's just about maybe the government trying to create the right environment for the local people to try. Talent is there, the smart people are there, the information is infinitely available. There's no reason whatsoever why we can't have the next big thing coming from Africa. There's no reason at all. Then another thing, and then we have the people, we have the numbers, right? We have the consumer base, right? So even having started with Nyumba Zetu in Kenya, that is where we thought that the initial problem, or where I experienced the problem initially. But what we are building right now, having now grown into 4 different African countries, we are 100% looking to now expanding into other Western countries, definitely in the US, because I'm from here. I experience the real estate events in New York and other parts of the country. So there's no reason why we cannot have an extension into the US. Then also, some of the solutions that people are already using, I feel we can create better products. I've been having this conversation with even property managers and even real estate agents in the US. Even on my flight back from Nairobi, where I just came about 3 days ago, where we signed a partnership with one of the largest banks in Kenya.
Right.
So on my way back, I sat next to somebody on the aeroplane, and he happened to be a real estate person. So we just started a conversation. What do we do? And then he's actually a real estate agent in Brooklyn. And
nice.
He explained to me some of the problems the challenges that he's facing with some of the products that are in the American market. And I was like, okay, let's touch base. Maybe in a couple of months, probably sometimes next year, we'll start something. And there are still gaps, and not only gaps with the products that are in the US, but also there are certain markets, and he told me this explicitly, that the immigrants, right? There's a lot of gaps there. Some of the products that you have in the US don't address that market properly. So those are the things we're going to look at as well.
Talk about, just divine connections. These are what we call divine connections. Just with somebody, on a flight, and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. And I hope everybody, comes across that, because it's rare for people to eventually open up and say, oh, this is what I do, how best can we come up with a solution and what have you, and then grow together, right, as African people. But also still on our your company journey and vision, what sets your company apart in the African property development spaces, considering that you're more tech but then eventually got into real estate and property management?
So what set us apart? Thando, I always say, like, Nyumba Zetu is just not another website, right? For me, for the diaspora people, it's your ears and eyes back home, right?
Absolutely.
So what makes us different is that we are obsessed with transparency, right?
Perfect.
That's how it started. We are obsessed with transparency. If you do any type of transfers, you're able to track how your money is flowing, right? We are building solutions about digital touring of properties, right? So we design everything with the diaspora in mind. So transparency, simplicity, right? If you're building solutions for the African market, particularly for the local, let's say, landlord property managers, you have to make it really
as simple as possible.
As simple as possible. So that's something that we're trying to build. And what we did also well was to integrate our application with WhatsApp, right? So we have but we realized there's a lot of people who are already using WhatsApp. And so we told even the people who are using our system, you don't necessarily have to download an app. We have apps in the App Store and everything else, but you can chat with our app directly from WhatsApp and get the same information in the app. So you don't have to download an app. A tenant can just query their bills directly from WhatsApp. They can download their statements directly from WhatsApp. They can generate service requests directly from WhatsApp, right? Because a lot of the home communities are already in these WhatsApp groups and so forth. So our solution, at least for the African market, is very customized to the realities on the ground. Right, and then of course, in Africa, when you're building solution, relationships really matter, and relationships.
Absolutely.
People have to feel that they trust you. They have to, sometimes they have to see you. They have to listen to your story, and that is very different from what is being built abroad, right? So So that sets us apart.
That's what sets you apart, and we love that simplicity. Because you know what, not a lot of people, as we get into the digital world, say maybe a lot of people that have properties are the older generation, right? And then you try and give them this, and they're like, where do I start? Right? Where do I start? So simplicity is always key, right? And that is so awesome. So as we dive deeper into real estate, what are some of the, current opportunities in Africa's property development market that diaspora investors should be aware of, that they're not even aware of? Because like you said, another thing is people don't trust, doing business in Africa while they're here, but what are the things that you think they deserve to know or need to do in order for them to establish themselves in Africa or get into the market?
First, before I answer that question, I like what you said about the landlords and maybe property managers and people who own most of the properties in Africa, and specifically almost in the rest of the world as well. They're older generation, right? Sometimes when we talk to them and we tell them that our system is hosted on the cloud, they're like, "What?" It's.
Can you imagine that?
That's our whole conversation.
Yeah. What's a cloud?
What's a cloud? And then I'm like, okay. We have to start
No, when you just said that, you just reminded me of my mom. That's why I'm laughing so hard. But true.
So, but of course, coupled to that, sometimes we show our demos and everybody's like, wow. But some of our AI features, which I'll talk about in a second. But so what are some of the opportunities? The opportunities are immense. Africa is developing very fast, right? I think the opportunities are endless. Cities are growing at a pace that you won't find anywhere else in the world. Nairobi, for example, is turning into a regional technology hub, right? Where you have, of course, Lusaka, Addis Ababa. They're attracting a lot of attention from young professionals. And of course, from diaspora, this means a chance for people to invest, because like even the yields back home are really, really, really high compared to anywhere else. So
Really?
of course, 100%. Like if you
Right.
look at how much you get if you buy a property in Nairobi versus maybe investing in a property in New York, in Africa, the yields are super crazy. So I would invite anybody to look into that as well. And if you also look at the infrastructure development, so secondary cities are opening up. Nairobi, for example, we have like super highways. The roads are leading into places that they didn't lead into before. So there's that expansion, and that brings a place for people to build a lot of infrastructure, a lot of houses. The governments, of course, are doing affordable housing in Kenya, and I'm sure in other parts of Africa as well.
Yeah.
So there's quite a number of opportunity for people to invest back there. I would suggest that anybody does do their research work.
Right.
There's a lot of opportunities. Yeah.
And as we said, guys, the future is Africa, whether we like it or not, because there's so many hidden resources that, well, some could have been abused, of course, by the system, I guess. But then if you, like you said, come with transparency and things that are straight to the T, right? I feel like anybody can succeed in Africa. But if anything, that's what are the key regions or cities are experiencing the most growth, and why, especially in Kenya?
Nairobi is definitely hot right now.
Of course, yeah.
Nairobi is super, super, super hot.
Yeah.
If you haven't visited Nairobi in the last maybe 5 or 10 years, you'll be shocked, right? The infrastructure, there are sky-rise buildings everywhere. Roads are great. But you're also seeing massive growth in places like, of course, Accra, Lagos, right?
Really?
Absolutely. And even the secondary cities that are benefiting from the infrastructures that I talked about, right? So think about super highways, think about like the fiber internet, think about like airports and so forth, right? Yeah. So these changes are definitely pulling in businesses back in Africa. But I would say Nairobi is really hot, and I'm so happy that we started something in Nairobi. There's the proliferation of high-rise building. It's amazing. If you land, if you land at the airport in Nairobi, and the first thing that you will notice is the advertisement of how many apartment buildings and houses are under construction. There's quite a number. There's quite a boom in the real estate sector in Nairobi here.
Really? There you go, guys. Let's go to Nairobi. Oh, so question. Here's where is it growing more if we're to put Rwanda and Kenya? Because I also heard that Rwanda is also growing, but I'm not too sure if it's real estate or farming or minerals, I believe.
I've had so many nice stories about Rwanda. In fact, I was telling my story to someone the other day, and the first thing they told me is like, have you gone to Rwanda, right? Yeah. They told me that there's quite an opportunity there.
Yeah.
And now that you have even mentioned it, now I feel I need to double down on Rwanda. I need to send my team.
Because I know a lot of people who've actually done Rwanda, who've done what do you call it? Oh man, Namibia. Yes, Namibia and Rwanda. They're like, oh my gosh, those are growing fast paced. It's crazy. So something to look into. Like we said, we start in Africa, right? Before we can even come here, and we look forward to that. But anyway, also moving forward is, how is your company contributing to a sustainable or community focused developments on the continent, rather than just Kenya?
So we are big on different type of projects, right? Not just houses.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of developments around integrated green spaces. We are supporting those in any way that we can. We work with developers that are doing a tremendous amount of work around that space. We are also supporting the local communities and local businesses. So one of the things that we noticed when we started Nyumba Zetu, of course, initially started as a property management software, but right now we have really morphed into almost anything real estate and fintech and technology mixed into one, which is a very interesting combination by the real estate, technology, and fintech.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Right.
But what we noticed was also some of the people are using our system started asking us, hey, which are the vendors that I can talk to, right?
Yeah.
That we have hundreds of properties listed in our platform. We talk to landlords almost every day. So one of the things that we are building also in Nyumba Zetu is like a sort of a marketplace, right? Where the property managers and people in real estate can find trusted and vetted vendors that they can work with, right? So that's super valuable for people in the diaspora as well. So that you don't guess, we can tell you this person worked on exactly on this project, right? So we support on the local businesses. There's a lot of course, solar energy, smart meters that are integrated with our system as well. And so we're very intentional about this as we work with the different developers in the market. Yeah.
Right. And with that being said, how can Africans out here in the diaspora, how can they in the diaspora leverage your services, to be specific, to invest in property back home?
So the first thing is you can browse the properties online, right? For the people in the diaspora, right? You can do virtual tours. You can make secure payments through the platform, right? So you don't have to go back to Nairobi to sign the paperwork, right? That you can do directly from our platform. So we do the heavy lifting for you, right? You and most importantly, you can manage your rental or your constructions from our dashboards, right? You can track progress and you can communicate directly with your local team. You can communicate directly with your tenants because that's a challenge that we have seen for a very long time. If I'm in the US or I'm in the diaspora, for example, and a lot of people in the diaspora invest back home, actually, right? Obviously, to be honest, that's something that's we don't even have to say. A lot of people in the diaspora invest back home. But of course, the ones that are scared are usually around transparency. So we create that transparency for you. And the fact that you are able to see your property from your mobile phone, right? The fact that you're able to see tenants' complaints directly on your phone, the fact that you're able to see money flowing in and flowing out directly from your phone, that makes it way more easier for you to invest back there. So those are the solutions that we're building for the diaspora people.
Right. And guys, like you heard, transparency is the one thing that a lot of people in the diaspora are so skeptical about, where they're like, oh, how do I know? And a lot of people say you have to be on the ground. You have to be on the ground. But here we are, you know, where what you call it, where Nyumba Zetu actually comes into play, where they will do like the heavy lifting, the groundwork and what have you, which do reach out, and definitely we're going to be putting details right below as we go on your website, your LinkedIn and all that fun stuff, so that people can actually follow through and just, you know, get all the information that they need. And also, what are the most common concerns or misconceptions that diaspora clients have about investing in African real estate, and how do you address them? You know, like we're saying, regardless of, oh yeah, I want this transparency. And then some people are way too skeptical to the point of saying, but how do I know that's legit? Because they've been duped so many times. This is another, and then eventually something legit comes on the ground. It's kind of difficult to believe, especially if, you know, transparency hasn't been there for quite a long time.
Right. So Thando, the biggest one fear is getting conned.
Absolutely. And a lot of people have actually invested more than 10K in a lot of things in Africa, 10K being the minimum. You understand? And 10K is not something that a lot of people just easily stumble into. And it can be the bare minimum for some people, but it's a lot for other people.
Absolutely, that's a lot of money, right? And we have, so it has happened to so many. We have get horror stories about people who buy land that don't exist, right?
That's it. And also build homes that don't exist, and getting pictures and of the process, but once they're done, it's like, where's my property?
Exactly. So many stories of those. Those are the problems that we are trying to solve. Those are the problems that we are trying to solve, and we're trying to solve them using technology. So that the entire process can be verified. We can lead you through process by process as you get these things done, so that you're not surprised at the end of the day, right? Outrightly, getting conned is the biggest one. So you need to have trusted people on the ground, or you need to have systems in place, right? That make sure that these things don't happen.
Right. So just being vigilant in everything, guys.
just be vigilant. Just be vigilant. And the other thing is, if we don't invest in Africa, if we as Africans are scared of investing in Africa, then we are shooting ourselves in the foot, right? Because if I'm scared, who else is going to invest in Africa, right?
Exactly.
At least for me, and that's why I started the business back there, because it's home. You understand the horror stories, you understand the issues, and we are the people who need to fix them, basically, right? And fix them either through investing back there, or either through creating processes that can help people invest.
And also, in order for somebody to succeed, you got to take a risk, right? Everything has risks, regardless of how many times you get duped. Right?
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward all the time. And so, do you offer any tailored packages or programs specifically for the diasporan community, or you so far you're just still dealing with like companies within Africa?
So for the people, some of our largest clienteles are from the diaspora. And I would say that just using our product, the value, right? The value that you get from using our product is way better than anything else, right? So so every time we are talking with with our clients in diasporas, either through maybe the payment channels that we offer you, the transparency that we offer, right? So we just walk you through the entire product package, and everything that we have to offer. And there's quite an immense amount of value that you can get just by using our product.
Right. And guys, as you can see, like on the banner below, where if you want more information, follow them on IG, Nyumba Zetu on IG, as well as Nicholas himself. The details are down there, or even on their website, nyumbazetu.com, where you can get all the information, the packages that they offer. And apparently, most of their clients actually based in the diaspora. Of course, they need somebody who's actually, the in-between diaspora and Africa for them to, to kind of trust, to say you kind of know what you're doing, right? And, give you this, their business or what have you. But as we get into like guidance for new investors looking to invest in real estate, what have you, what advice would you give to somebody in the diaspora looking to make their first real estate investment in Africa?
Right. Just going back to the first question, actually, one of the things that we also offer to the diaspora market is we'll give you like a one-on-one consultation, right?
Right.
So if you need to do an investment, either buy any property or you need something to be managed, we'll actually connect you with one of the consultants in our team.
Right.
And so because sometimes you need someone to walk you through this journey, particularly if you are based abroad, right? Someone to make you really understand
absolutely.
In regards to what someone in diaspora, if you are looking to invest back there, I would say research, right? Start by doing as much research as you can. Don't rush, because sometimes it's tempting to go with the first option you see, especially when someone is nudging you But I'll just say, take your time, right?
Yeah.
Just do as much as research as you can. Talk to people that are on the ground.
Yeah.
Get to know the developers, specifically if you're buying a new property and their track record.
Yeah.
And these are very easy to find, and some of these are some of the information that you have on a platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then visit if you can. Visit if you can. Just don't rely on the word of mouth, and then you can partner with Nyumba Zetu, and then we can offer you some of the due diligence to help you figure out the right fit for you. And we can, because we are partners even with lawyers, we are partners with local developers, so we can give you some advice. So you can just listen in, and then we decide on the right course of action. And of course, remember, investing back home or investing in Kenya, it's a journey, right? So you have to celebrate every small win along the way, but most importantly, just take your time.
You know, one thing that you said that is so fascinating that I hope people will take from this conversation is take your time. I always say from experience, from being duped. When somebody comes to you with something that's unbelievable, dig deeper. Don't ever, like, if you're the one that's supposed to be looking, instead of somebody saying, oh, I'll give you this, you know, you can make this money and this. Take your time. See how the system works. Go around it. Ask all the necessary questions. I know sometimes, because there's so many pyramid schemes that are happening out there in real estate, in anything to do with money.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, you name it, a lot of things, you know. So being, vigilant in everything that you do, do it. Do the best that you can to get all the information that you can, and do not rush until your gut feeling will tell you this is it. If it's telling you otherwise.
Yep. 100%.
So what are the other key things, though, that they should research on and prepare before getting started? Yes, we can say, oh yeah, be careful, look deeper and what have you. But what are the specifics that you can say, be careful on this? Because there's so many repeats that, that actually still out there that people may not know, because maybe somebody has never experienced them. But what are the red flags to see, or the green flags?
It's important to understand the local market. Of course, we have talked about do your research, but most importantly, also try to understand what is driving the prices.
Good.
If you are to invest in a land, for example, right? I mean, you're tempted. Someone will come and tell you, oh, there's going to be a road passing here. The government is going to be doing ABCD, or there's just a lot of people invest for speculation purposes. You come and you need to buy land. Why? Because the price of land always goes up. It's true, but also it's just really to understand why is it going up, so that when it starts going down, you are not. You're just not not understanding why you invested in the first place, right? So even if you are to invest in the properties, of course, there's a big shift right now in rural to urban migration in Africa, and I think that's a shift that is going to be there for a very long time. Of course, infrastructure development. So these are the things that you need to understand as well, and why you are investing in the first place. Is it like a secondary home? Are you investing because you're going to put it on a rental? Somebody's going to pay you monthly income, long-term rental. Are you investing it for short stay? In which case, like Airbnb, in which case you really need to have a trusted person managing it for you, because there's also a lot of horror stories around Airbnb.
Exactly.
We won't go into that, but there's a lot of those. So you really need to understand why you are investing. And then most importantly, who are the reputable developers? What projects have they done, right? How are those projects related? Know the legal requirements before you right? How are you going to get your title, right? What are the laws around the titles, particularly if you're buying an apartment building where maybe you don't own the land, or maybe the land is on a leasehold, because some of the apartment buildings in the major cities, the land still belongs to the government. Maybe you get a 99 years a leasehold. How does that work? How are you, the lease, how the titles going, the sectional titles, or how is it going to be divided around the different homeowners, for example, if you live in a gated community, understand the ownership rules. And then if you're buying to flip, I feel also you need to really have a good time horizon, right? Because you just don't wait today and really flip tomorrow. Things can happen in the way.
I know. Recently, I don't know who I was talking to about that, about buying to flip and what. I'm trying to remember. We were talking about that, and they were like, it depends also. I don't know if we were talking about investing back home or here, but about flipping and stuff like that. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, actually, you know what? Everybody just likes quick money too. But also another thing that I wanted to ask when you're saying how to see like a reputable, company or what have you, are reviews also part of, to know how reputable a company is, or how would you know? Because you know how sometimes people, before they buy a product or anything, they're like, oh yeah, I want to check the reviews and how genuine are they, and they're not bought reviews and stuff like that.
So the question is around
do you think reviews would be one of the things to look at as well? Because the thing is, everything is now centered around reviews before you even buy anything. So with property, do we have ways to check reviews as well? Do they deal with reviews for you to see who's more reputable or genuine or what have you, like in real estate and stuff?
Correct. Yes. Okay. 100%. Reviews are always important. But just with everything else in life, sometimes the things that have the most reviews are not necessarily for you, right? So you also need to be like, okay, who are these people who are reviewing this?
Right. Actually, you're so right, because there are times where I see more numbers and then there's less numbers, and the lesser numbers have about 5 stars, right? And then the more numbers are like 4.5. And then that's when I go into detail to see the difference. To say, why is there 4.5, but there's maybe 3,000 reviews? And then why is there 5? Of course, there's a few people, but then how genuine are the 10 people on the 5-star, right? Or you can tell, man, you can tell.
You can tell, and then sometimes most of the people, if you go to Amazon, for example, and you look at the reviews, most of the reviews are usually based on price, right? So there's the hard mentality. A lot of people bought it, therefore a higher review, but maybe you are looking for something a little bit more expensive, or you have a little bit type of different use case, right, for the thing that you want to buy. So in which case maybe the reviews is not necessarily what you want to look at. You need to dig a little bit deeper, right? Talking to maybe people who are a little bit more experts in that area that can give you like different specifications on the thing that you're looking at.
Right.
And real estate, that's you talk to us, right? And we'll connect you with the right partners.
There you go. As you can see, guys, more details are right below. So please do reach out if you have any questions, and you'll be connected to the right people. So also getting into looking ahead, what are your company's future plans or upcoming projects that we should be excited about? Because of course, where there's success, there's usually growth. But so what should we look forward to?
So Thando, what we are super excited about right now, one of things is expanding into the different African countries, of course, and beyond, right? That is, we have the right technology and we have the right solution, not just for Nairobi, not just for South Africa, not just for Ethiopia, but the whole of Africa, and even the Western market as well, right?
Right.
So we are excited about expanding. We are launching into the affordable housing space, particularly in Nairobi. That's super exciting for us because it's going to be very useful to a lot of people, right? That's exciting, not just because we're building a solution, but just the type of people that it's going to impact as well. That is exciting. Particularly young families and so forth. And also rolling out some really cool tech. So we're building an AI-powered tool that can help you, compare investment, track the portfolios, and predictive analytics, the market trend, and so forth. And what is so cool about it is almost like we are building models, right? Like AI models. Think about ChatGPT, but just specifically for properties.
Right.
Something that, as even as a developer or as a property manager, you can chat directly with your property. Like you can ask, hey, how much money did I receive today? Generate for me a landlord report, right? Which issues did tenants raise? Which are the most, anything that you want to do. So we are building models around your data that you can just chat with directly. And then also give people advice around the real estate, specifically in Africa, because that's a whole new training.
Which actually follows our next question. Like, do you see any shifts? Which, funny enough, do you see any shifts coming in African property market that investors should keep on their radar, like what they need to be focusing on right now?
It's more digital. Everything's going digital. The legal framework, more listings. Of course, we need to watch for growth in the secondary cities that I've said, but digitization. And of course, the use of AI, that's coming, and we're in the forefront of it.
Right. And do you think, I guess maybe because it has nothing to do with creative spaces and stuff like that. So AI would actually be a very useful in the real estate market, or is it useful? Is it like the best? Like, as in right now, you're more of, I actually think this is the best time to have AI.
Yes, it is, because when you ask me, for example, before someone invests in Africa, right, what do they need to do? They need to do research, right? And with AI, what is becoming really cool about it is because, like, the knowledge is already there, right? The cost of knowledge is almost zero. The information is there. Now the question is asking the right question.
That's
right?
it.
So when you're doing your research, the information is right. You just need to ask the right question. And a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people sometimes don't know the right questions to ask in every day, right?
Exactly. So maybe if you haven't been in real estate and you're told, oh, that's where the money is, but you don't know the right questions to ask. I get what you're saying.
100%. Yes. So you're like, okay, the information is there. You can ask, but like, what are these questions to ask? So that's why we are building our models around, right? To help steer you towards being able to ask the right questions, and then the AI will then give you the right answer. And I think that's where the specialization is about. So the information is there. Are you asking the right questions? Our platform will help you ask the right questions so that you get the right answers. Because if you ask the wrong question, you'll get the right answer to the wrong question.
And then get confused from it, and you're like, oh. Right. So as we close up, as we conclude today's conversation, how can our listeners then, mostly I know we've actually put the details right below, but what's the turnaround if they're to connect with your team, learn more about the services, and get started with investing?
Right. So it's super easy. Just go to our website, www.nyumbazetu.com. You can follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Nyumba Zetu. Just Google Nyumba Zetu. Anywhere you'll find it, and then you can always chat with us directly on WhatsApp, call us, leave a message on our website or any of our social, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and we'll reach out to you.
Yes, guys, you heard it for yourselves. As you can see on the ticker right below, you can catch them on Instagram. You can go directly to the CEO, CTO, or you can also go on their page on Nyumba Zetu on Instagram, as well as LinkedIn, and then their website. And their website would be more informative more than anything, because that's where everything is. The links to the emails, the links to their WhatsApp, the links to about, getting to know what they're all about and how to maneuver how they can help you with their services and stuff like that. But and last but not least, what's one message that you'd like to leave for Africans in the diaspora who are thinking about building or owning a home back in Africa, or already own a property back in Africa, but can make the most out of it?
Don't let the fear or distance hold you back, right? So Africa's future it's literally on our hands, right? And now is the best time to invest in your roots,
Right.
Yeah. So whether it's a home for your family or you just want to build something for a legacy for the next generations, you can make it happen. And I would like to tell you are not alone. We'll walk the journey with you.
That is awesome. Do not be afraid to invest back home. Do not be afraid to invest in anything at all, because you just never know what's on the other side of the green of whatever, or of your fear. It could be greener, it could be brown, but you learn from it. It could be yeah, because sometimes some things need watering, right? It just needs you. It's brown, but then you come and water it, it becomes green, you know. I don't know how I thought about that, but yeah, that. But no, thank you so much, Nicholas. It was such a pleasure and so informative for you to come and, give us all this information, and people can easily just come to your website and just, talk to you and your team and figure out how best they can invest in Africa, and not be afraid to do that, because the future is in Africa. That this was such an insightful conversation. And I was actually saying, oh my gosh, there's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but no, actually, I learned a lot, and I'm just hoping a lot of people learned a lot too.
I'm glad. No, thank you so much for having me. I have a lot of curiosity about you too, about your journey to Canada, how the criteria you used to pick your guests. I have so much questions to understand, but maybe that's a conversation for another day.
That's a conversation for another day. And we have your details. Definitely, I'll be reaching out to you because you've actually opened my eyes to something different. You've opened my eyes to something different. And I was about to make an interesting decision, an interesting move in real estate. So for me, it's like, oh, I think this conversation was much needed, So hopefully not just for me, but a lot of people who are actually trying to get into real estate and what have you. And then again, learning the digital world, because tech is like on the rise. Is ridiculous, right? So definitely I will be reaching out for a couple of details, and feel free to interview me then.
Okay, we'll do.
Right. But thank you so much, Nicholas, for joining us today and sharing your journey, your vision, and the amazing work that you're actually doing with Nyumba Zetu. It's clear that innovation, purpose, and community are the heart of your mission. And we look forward to more that's coming up. We look forward to even work with you more than anything. And definitely we'll definitely share around this video, because I know a lot of people have been saying, oh my gosh, I want to get it. And we know somebody who's actually here and also invests a lot, like in the States, in Africa, and all around here in Canada. So I hope you might even link up with them. I will definitely get in touch with them personally, because I have the details as well. I'm sure you guys would be able to work together. But thank you so much, Nicholas.
No, thank you. And I would love to talk with them. I'm not just as friends, like anybody we can exchange ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's how we grow, right? Because if anything, I may have my way of thinking, but if I was listening to Kevin Hart's inspirational video this week, where it's like, you know what, surround yourself with people with great ideas, because it'll open you up to greater ideas, right? And you all grow and you become hungrier, to get into a whole different realm of success and what have you. And I was like, wow, okay, it's not something that we don't know, but then how best can we do that, right? And hopefully as Africans we can come together, support each other, and eventually grow together, and just show the West that we are actually a continent that has our resources, and we know how to use our resources.
True.
But anyway, thank you so much again. And to our listeners, as we say goodbye. Oh my gosh, we managed to crunch our time, which was good. And we managed to go through all our questions, which was amazing. But to our listeners and our viewers, thank you so much for the love, for sharing this video, for watching and everything. Because I was seeing Max was there. TC for sharing. TC is always sharing our work and stuff like that. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I may not be able to see all the names, especially on Instagram, that we ended up managing to go live a bit later. But if anything, we have the whole interview on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, which, by the way, every time I almost forget, there we go. Follow us on our IG, Tough Love Giggles, on After5Radio, as well as After5Radio.Africa, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, After5Radio, if you haven't already. And also hit that like button and share this episode with your friends. This is so informative and very insightful, especially those who want to get into real estate and also in IT, to also, you never know, collaborate, right? Collaboration is a huge thing too, right, in this world today. So let's keep spreading the love and the vibes. Until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep celebrating the culture, baby, as we celebrate Africa as a continent. So this is your host, aka the Hype Lady, Miss ThandoAmy, signing off with love. Take care. God bless you, and I love you. Bye for now. Bye, Nico. I'll actually be in touch with you shortly after this. All right. Good. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
We dress to impress, we call for the best, put us to the test, and it ain't no stress, no settle for less. Cause we are Africa. Forever home is in the heart.